Bunnycast number 30. Guest interviews. Guys, that's your cue.
You're going to do your 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Take 3.
3, 2, 1.
Jesus Domine,
Dona
es requiem.
That was actually pretty good. Not too bad lagging there.
Me!
Apart from the fact that I've just probably scratched up this DVD to hell.
You're supposed to take the DVD out of the box.
Oh.
Sometimes the dreams come back and seem so real to me. The sky turns so cold and black. I'm scared of what I see, but I'm not afraid anymore. You vanquished my fears. You gave me a reason to laugh and stole all my tears.
Alrighty, welcome to another Bunnycast, number 30. We are partially here, half awake. Some of us have our brains missing. We'll let you guess who throughout the course of the recording.
Alright,
Stop it.
It was funny the first 5 times, not the 5th.
what?
That didn't make sense.
There's your first example, guys. Brain not working right there.
I'm your hostess, Dave Mellon. We have with us the Right Reverend Lord Sir Killerfish of the Keenfans,
I'm hilariously drunk.
a.k.a. Zeppo. Also with us is...
Have we hit China yet? Because I think we're digging hard. If otherwise, we're not digging hard enough.
We're working at it. Also here, as you can tell, is Squato, and we do have Sir Xepharon the Prepared. Also joining us for the first half of this recording is LittleKuriboh of internet fame. Those who are unfamiliar with him by name will probably recognize the web series he does. Squato, take it away.
Okay, our guest in the headlights, because of the fact that he's a bit unsure as to what's going on, and that's putting it nicely. Sorry for the random. I'm so very sorry for that. Is LittleKuriboh. The show he does, he's more prominently known for, is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, which can be found on YouTube and linked off That Guy with Glasses. It's apparently a quite popular show, so much so that Encyclopedia Dramatica actually is viewed as one of the best things on the internet.
Apparently quite popular, yes. And I know people who are not anime fans. They don't pay any... I know jocks, to give you an idea, that know Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. So, yes, it's very popular.
Hey, Kuriboh's Skype picture just loaded.
Not for me.
I've said the whole time.
It just appeared. It was like a silhouette of the little cartoon silhouette with the body thing and then the bubble head.
Now,
now it's a face.
For the listeners at home, you may have missed it. That was LittleKuriboh saying the what?
Saying what?
He is very much deer in the headlights so far, folks. We're hoping to coax him to full.
I'm okay. I just got back from work as well, so I'm just catching up on everything that I've missed.
Okay.
Hey, don't worry. We do this to all the guests.
Now, because you were mentioning with work... Okay.
See, we weren't kidding.
What I was going to say is, because you mentioned with work there, LittleKuriboh is the fact... Well, LK, whatever you want to say it, sorry. Yeah, I'm half asleep.
I'm still at work.
What I was going to say is, would you like to actually mention to people what your job is? Because I know you put on YouTube, but that show. But would you actually like to talk about it? Or potentially advertise it?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Okay, let's
Stage
answer
show.
these kinds of questions for the actual interview.
Yes.
In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about some news. Squato, you said you had some forum news?
Okay, forum news. Well, basically, this is one that was pointed out to me by Troy. Short version is, it was a there's a bit of an issue that's been building up with the art sections that some of the request threads on there, which is where the artists say, "Oh, hey, I'm going to do some art. Does anyone have anything that they might be interested in getting done?" What's happened is that you've been getting people that have been going on there going, "Hey, I want you to draw this totally awesome, great image," and the artist has basically gone to themselves, at least, "Nope." And because of the fact that they've not drawn it, there's been a reaction from some people going, "Oh my god, this artist is not doing my art that I requested so nicely when I yelled at them. Obviously they're a mean person and we must abuse them because they're a mean person."
Reminds me of something I heard on the radio station this morning. I'll explain that in a minute.
So Troy basically jumped into that with drawing pictures of himself reacting to the stupidity of people in the thread, which then saw them going, "Well, obviously you shouldn't be in this topic because you don't know what's going on." so Troy's out.
I love those people so much.
See, this is another good reason to have the Bunnycast, because we get to shame these people in public. Shame!
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 Shame on
We're
you.
pointing our fingers. Shame!
This morning I was listening to the radio. I was going to some place to be able to hand out some flyers and post some stuff up for my store. And so I'm listening on the radio, and the radio host is Tommy and the bartender, so two guys, and they're laughing at something. And so I turn it up, and they're going, "Well, we got a request here to play some song. I can't remember what the hell it is. To play some song, but we're not going to play it. You know why? Because you insulted us right after you requested it." You know, and it kind of went on about what it was, and they're like, "You know, seriously, if you're going to insult, you know, if you're going to request a song, don't insult the radio hosts."
If you're going to request something in general, don't.
Yeah, and they go, because I mean, the thing was, "Hey, love your station. Can you play this song for me?" And the other guy has a really annoying laugh. Or by the way, that guy has a really annoying laugh. So they're like, "No, you listener, we're not playing your song for you." And they actually name off what song it was. So I guess the guy knows who it was. So I actually call into the station going, "Did somebody really insult you guys after making a request?" They're like, "Yeah, it happens all the time." I'm like, "That's really not intelligent." Can I request a song? And I did. So I asked for Grand Illusion by Styx, and they're like, "Yeah." So they played it later. It was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Well, there is a radio guy one of the hosts on one of the radio stations down here who outright plays people abusing him, calling up, going, "Hey, Marjay, you're a dickhead," and he tries to abuse them back. And the reason why they abuse him is because he actually is a dickhead.
Well,
Controversial.
Yeah,
well, see, we can't do that in the United States because it's politically incorrect, and kids listen to the station. So, oh my God, we can't do that.
You don't upset people who buy ink by the barrel, and you don't insult the person who has the microphone.
Because believe me,
There's the man with the gun.
thousands will know. I'm waiting for someone. Oh God, I'm waiting for someone to be like, call in for one of those contest entry things. Yeah. So what's your name? Da-da-da. Okay. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah. By the way, the other guy's really annoying. John. Well, John.
Oh, it looks like our counter says you're the 32nd caller, not the 31st.
I'm sorry. Try again. Next caller.
Okay, so comic news. Okay, the demon thing. I'm
sorry.
I'm telling you, I saw that and I got visions of Babylon 5. That is a super inside geek reference, and most people are not going to get it. I do apologize.
I
That's
do
what
totally
was
get it. It's a new live reaction from Dame Helennet. Demon thing.
Although I will admit, it looking at the comic, because I got a new computer recently. I'll explain that a bit later.
That old guy looks like, you know, I see the thing, "No, old man, you don't get to die yet." I'm sitting here thinking, he's probably thinking, "Crap, man, I really would like to go, like, any time now." Because he looks like he's ready to just croak.
Death comes in its own time, apart from when it doesn't.
Yeah, apparently the watch is still working.
What?
The death clock watch.
Oh,
the time.
Remember, we also have a comic that's closely related to EGS that's called The Watch. You have to be a little more specific here.
Right. The clock.
I have a deaf clock, I think.
Doodly ding dong tick tock.
Well said.
Perfect.
Give that man an Oscar.
Ding.
Well timed, too. Oh!
Ooh, bad pun, Homer. Bad Homer. I'm Captain Punnet.
I'm sorry for the people that have come in just for the LittleKuriboh. I'm sorry for what we got, all the randomness, but hey.
I'm not!
We'll let the little disc be in the headlights soon.
The impact will happen in 5, 4.
Okay, miscellaneous news. There is an iPhone app for vegetarians.
What?
A vegetarian-friendly iPhone app will tell you if there are dead animals in that sandwich. This is a headline from Gizmodo. Basically what it is...
A clue. If it contains meat, it contains dead animals. Thank you.
Is Peter responsible for it?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Developer Faisal Mohammed, one for veggies, one for those who follow Islamic law and eat only halal food. Basically, you take a picture of the ingredients list of the packaging of whatever you're eating, and it tells you if it is a vegetarian-friendly meal or not.
And you need an iPod application to tell that.
And my only
Read the
reaction
ingredients list, really?
Is bacon a meat or is bacon a vegetable?
Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
My reaction to this is it tasty and delicious? It has meat in it!
We at the Bunnycast do not hate vegetarians at all, and we'd like to say that we respect their lifestyle.
We at the Bunnycast do not condone the verbal slamming of vegetarians or their lifestyle, but we do, on the other hand, find it quite frankly hilarious.
Meat. It's meat.
So,
Kind of reminds me of something that was said on the DBZ Abridged series. We at DBZ Abridged do not we do not condone the abuse of children or hitting them, appropriate or something or some shit like that. But we do find it very hilarious. And then it does one of those freeze frames just as the kid gets just completely smacked and is flying through the air, stops. You see part of the fist, sees the kid just doing that whole face. And it says that, and then after it finishes, it goes back, and you go back to hearing them scream. It's kind of cool. I am a terrible person.
Violence on children, it's cool.
Okay.
You heard it from
Everyone's doing it.
Stepping away. Killerfish, what's your news item?
My news item is that there is a new Doctor Who.
Who?
Yes.
Who is he?
He is Matt Smith, a 27-year-old, which means he's only 2 years older than me, which I find frankly disgusting.
Because you weren't picked?
Yes, because it was not me who they chose.
Okay.
However, I'm willing to give him a chance.
Killerfish, it would help if you take the mask off your face once in a while.
Sorry.
Squato, news item.
That joke sucked. Never mind.
Okay, I'll cover this one now. And Homer, please play the sound clip in the recording now for it going on. What's happened is, from that recording, with the recording they had on David Letterman, who was the guy, Robin Williams made the comments regarding Australia as being a backwards country, which then saw a reply from Australia's greatest Prime Minister.
This!
Made a reply stating that if Robin Williams wants to make fun of rednecks, he should move to Alabama. Alabamians, I didn't even know that was the plural for people from Alabama, they got offended by it. And I like the fact that the governor of that state said, well, this is a stupid thing to be causing an international incident over, particularly because Alabama has a lot of big trade with Australia. Alabamians decided that they were really offended with it, one of whom was making a comment that he wants to go up to a zoo and punch a kangaroo in the face.
Like that'll solve anything.
It's Alabama.
No, but in all honesty, what the Alabama, what'd you say, governor said about, this is a stupid thing to have an international incident. Quite honestly, I have to say, I think that's probably the most intelligent thing I have heard anybody that in any kind of leadership office position ever say. This is really stupid. Agreed.
I just love how Rob Williams actually did apologise for it on radio, and he said, "Please, Kevin Rudd, please don't be offended from my comments. I would like to apologise. Now, can you please get the docs? And when I come to Australia, please don't make the strip search be that difficult or that painful."
Oh God!
Yeah, but did he apologise for Hook yet?
Oh, God.
Slam! Nice one.
He's quiet, but he's good.
He came out, and he's in the spotlight.
So, Squato, just so we're all clear who and what we're talking about, this is Robin Williams, actor, comedian Robin Williams, right?
Yes.
And
He was in Australia because of Happy Feet 2.
Oh, they're making a
What?
sequel. Cool.
Yeah, they are.
Why?
It's the Antichrist! No!
They're making Mad Max 4, so this is what
Mad Max 4 is fine. Mad Max is pretty much a formula that you can't screw up. Happy Feet, they screwed up in one movie.
You do know that
Hey guys, everything has been resolved within the first 45 minutes. Oh wait, there are aliens.
Mad Max 4, back from the Thunderdome.
Mad
Actually,
Max
you're
4,
saying
we
about,
found
like-
plenty of gas. We're just doing it for the hell of it.
Look, can't we just get beyond Thunderdome at this point?
No, Mad Max 4, we found the gas, but we lost the keys.
I
one
think
thing I
they're
was
in my
gonna
other set of leather pants.
The thing I was going to say, you're saying they couldn't screw up Mad Max, the formula is perfect. They were going to make the fourth one an anime film.
Oh, God! God, no!
I didn't necessarily think that the formula was perfect, but the formula is pretty hard to screw up.
Making
Well,
an
when
anime?
you're already
And yet
at-
they can!
This is
Well, when
Hollywood
you're-
we're talking about. They can screw it up.
I was going to say, when
Hollywood
you're
would make
already
an anime.
when you're at rock bottom, you really can't go lower. But we do have to remember that Hollywood does have drills.
Do I need to remind people of the Leonardo da Vinci film that they apparently are going to make?
Please don't. I'm going to go homicidal.
Is this that steampunk adaptation?
Yes.
Yes, the one where apparently he's a leader of a group of... basically, he's Buffy with steampunk.
Da Vinci has superpowers.
So
And
it's
he-
sort of like that Van Helsing movie they made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci is pretty much, in this movie, Indiana Jones meets Van Helsing meets some other
Clash
people.
of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
So basically,
And,
somebody.
oh my God, we're going to go ahead and run out of this cave, avoid the rock, and I'm going to go ahead and find some sticks along the way and invent a helicopter. And it works.
Can't be
In
any
5
worse than-
seconds.
Can't be any worse than Quest of the Delta Knights, where he introduced himself as being a guy called. My name is Leonardo. I'm from a town called Vinci.
That would actually be plausible if no one knows of it. Of course, no one does.
Well, maybe
Wait a
he's a
second, did
Ninja
you
Turtle
say
in
just use the word
disguise.
plausible in a Hollywood plot?
Yeah. Seriously though, if you could actually get some people to do that, it's like saying, "Hey, if you say the word zebra really slowly, you can hear the word gullible."
Zebra.
Slower.
I
didn't hear it.
Zebra. No, I can't hear
I
it.
did hear. I did hear it from you. I heard you. I heard gullible right there.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Vinci.
I heard people trying to play golf and failing spectacularly in the background, though. That's all I heard.
Vinci. Yeah, they're actually not doing that anymore. Vinci.
Oh!
Have they moved on to some other sexually explicit innuendo type game?
Yeah, it's called Facebook.
Ah!
No,
Computer
seriously. No, seriously, they are.
You know what? I think this is brilliant that you're actually making fun of your customers while they're in the store.
Well, actually, no, see, they aren't customers. They aren't customers. One's one of the owners, and the other one is his brother. So it's okay.
Okay, so let's move on to our guest interview for this hour. LittleKuriboh, thank you for joining us again. We do want to talk a little bit about what made you most popular, and then we'll move on to other subjects. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
Okay, time for other subjects. I'm kidding. I'm not that mean.
So,
usual.
First off, brilliance. You only have to watch one episode to start laughing your butt off. This is really genuinely good stuff. And open confession time here. Even though I love it and I've seen clips, I have not sat down to see a whole season, say, in a sitting. So
sacrilege.
Yes, I know.
Blasphemy.
I do love what I've seen so far. And really, literally, this is one of the few things that I can point people to on the internet and say, okay, you want to watch something funny, watch episode 1, you'll get it instantly, and you'll know if you like it.
You'll have a giggle fest.
Yes.
I have yet to actually do I go to say something, I just hear, I'm sorry. No, I have to say kind of what Homer just said without saying it. But I'll say it anyway. No, I've seen pieces. I haven't had the time to sit down and watch.
Let the man talk!
I can't hear him. Oh, there he is. Go. Go.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is it's an odd thing because, as you say, it's the sort of thing that you can watch without really being into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or into anime, period, because I write it from the perspective of somebody who's watching each episode for the first time, and almost like this is what might go through somebody's head who has almost a complete aversion to everything that's actually being shown on the screen. So it's kind of like what somebody who doesn't like anime would do if they were given the Yu-Gi-Oh! Concept and told to run with it, I guess. I don't know.
So that's your secret.
I get it. It's the 4Kids version, but actually good.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say, and I was praying that you didn't, and thank God you didn't. I thought you were about to say something about 4chan.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I would not want to see the 4chan version of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Although apparently some of the later episodes apparently are drifting that way, if you believe some people.
It's like the 4Kids version of Pokemon. They're calling the rice cake patties. They're calling them what was it? Donuts? Let's have some donuts.
Okay.
In America is in America. Yeah, Squato.
They did actually Photoshop.
We'll get the man to do that joke.
They did actually Photoshop, I think, a hamburger into, or either a hamburger or a sandwich into one of the characters' hands when he was eating a rice ball.
Yes, I know. And quite frankly, this is why I hate American culture.
We hate American culture too.
It's not. It's not so much American culture. It's just the American way of changing around what we can see on TV.
Well, everybody does
censorship.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much the censorship as the editing because it's more friendly.
Well, okay. For instance, I can understand, like in Sailor Moon, there's a scene where Sailor Moon Usagi is in a bathtub pondering a certain situation that's going on, and then there's a amusing scene that makes, in Japanese culture, makes total sense that you see this because they don't see the nudity from the waist up as being a big problem. Hell, they don't see full frontal nudity as a huge problem.
I don't think none of the world does, except us.
Yeah, well, here in the States, of course, as you just mentioned, we do have a problem with it. And in this particular episode I'm thinking of, when they converted it for American audiences, they did a masterful job of keeping the scene, but then switching out to like the outside the bathroom door while the humorous stuff went on, and then doing this fantastic voiceover work where you understood exactly what was going on behind the door without having to see anything.
Well, when you can actually pull that off, but if you're just going to Photoshop and superimpose,
but yeah,
I'm
photoshopping
sorry.
a hamburger in where there's a rice ball, it's like, okay, come on, how stupid do you think American audiences are? We've been in the anime revolution for what, 10 years now? 20?
Do we have to answer that question?
For some people, Homer,
Yes.
that's not long enough. For a lot of people, that's not long enough.
And on top of that, we've become the American culture. I don't know about the rest of the world, but the American culture has become more and more diverse in terms of accepting more and more things that hell, people 10 years ago hadn't even.
Yeah, maybe one day you guys will accept the French.
Never! Damn dirty frogs!
Oh, freedom fries forever.
The question is, has England accepted the French?
We're not saying.
So,
Anyway,
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
we tangented hard.
It happens regularly. I can't remember, but I have no memory. We've
We were
established
talking
this.
about LittleKuriboh, that's it.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
So, I do. Just getting back to the subject. My favorite line so far, I believe it's right there in the first episode of anything I've seen, and I've seen enough to really laugh my butt off plenty of times. But my favorite line is when Yu-Gi-Oh's voice switches from that high-pitched kind of squeaky voice to the "I'm talking really deep and I'm a man now" voice.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, when I was watching the actual series, when my wife started watching it for some bizarre reason, and so she would have it on, and part of the show he'd be talking just like this, and the rest the part of the show, I am man voice.
By
And
the power of
I was
Grayskull.
thinking, what the hell? This is bad acting. And my favorite line, again, so far of the entire series of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series is, "What, did your testicles just drop or something?"
It reminds me of what I used to do with Xbox Live for the original Xbox. Because you had the voice masking, and I had it set so that I could be talking like I am now, but everybody else would be hearing this. And then I would switch it really fast to this really deep thing. And so it would come out. Everybody would hear, oh my God, I can feel it happening. Rainbows are dropping.
Okay, so...
It's interesting. I mean, it's one of those unspoken things in the show because it's never actually said whether people can tell if his voice has changed or if his actual. Because Yami, the character, the character who lives inside Yugi's head, doesn't necessarily. Yeah, but he's not necessarily any taller than Yugi because he's shown as being essentially the same height. He's shown as being very short and
His hair's bigger.
Yeah, his hair is different. It's a little more. There's an extra bang there, I think. But yeah, it's never actually said if he sounds any different or if it's just a thing to get the audience to understand what's happening. And I think it's kind of like Stewie from Family Guy, where it's like,
What the deuce?
yeah, where it's like, what the hell? So can the family understand the baby or not? Because it's kind of back and forth on whether
Whether
that's
they
the
can or
case. Yeah, they seem to change every week.
Oh God, I'm so tempted to leap back into my Family Guy impressions.
No. Bad. No.
You like it? Yeah, come on, I want a cookie.
For the record, Zeph was trying to get a bit of a fight between himself and you, LittleKuriboh, over who can do the better accents.
So,
We're moving on now.
LittleKuriboh, what got you started doing this?
I recently realized that it was actually technically it all started back when I watched the Blair Witch Project, which got me interested in film editing and how you can change an already established story that's very linear and has a very definite beginning and an end, and you can, with editing, completely change the characters' journeys and still tell exactly the same story, but tell it in a more concise and very and change a character's complete perspective just with editing, taking things out and putting things in a different place, and that got me interested in that kind of storytelling medium. And then after that, I just got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I watched it when it was on right before Pokemon, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just assumed it was going to be exactly like Pokemon. It just, like, from all the media that I'd seen, just I assumed it was going to be a case of, we've got to get all the cards, and in the next week's episode there'll be a new card and we have to collect that one, and then we have to be the best card game player in the world, and that's not what the show's about. And I realized that it's very easy to sort of jump to conclusions based on impressions that you get from the way that the show is marketed, because if you actually look at any of the show's marketing, it's all about the cards and it's all about the monsters, and it's never about the characters, whereas the show is very character driven. I mean, it's the cards play a very small part in it, and even the new shows like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, they've actually downplayed the card aspect of it, and they've gone
except for when they're apparently battling on motorcycles.
Motorcycles?
Fail.
Motorcycle.
Card games on motorcycles?
I do it all the time.
I would like to see a motorcycle.
That would be amusing, actually. Hey, let's send in to Mythbusters with that one. Let's concoct a myth, start spreading it on the internet, and then say, "Hey, Mythbusters!"
Wait. So, I am actually hearing you correct in motorcycle? Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes,
Let me think. How would that actually work? I mean, oh god, it'd be like having inner tubes on a bicycle with paddles. And it goes. I don't know. And you just steal it. You have to hold one hand on the handlebars. You got to hold the other hand on the rudder. And you got to pedal really, really, really fast so you can stay afloat and not tip over.
Oh, Squato, I'm sorry. I did forget to mention that in response to the Australian Ministry of confusing the hell out of Americans, the U.S. government has recently unveiled that there's a new bureau of retaliating against Australia's confusion.
It's called just Zeph being allowed to speak.
So anyway, like I was saying,
Our cornerstone of our technology. We must silence him.
They knew too much. We knew too much. They went too far. We went too far. Starring Matt Damon.
Matt Damon!
Directed by who? Directed by Matt Damon. Featuring Matt Damon.
Ben Affleck.
Co-hosted and produced by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Tangenting!
Yeah, boy.
Tangent Team!
Part of the Film Actors Guild, the FAG.
I need to take antacids now because of
So,
that stomach.
LittleKuriboh.
Yes.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series is pretty much a one-man show, right? This is almost all you?
Well, I write, I edit, I do 90% of the voices, maybe 95%, and I'm pretty much I have some people running my website, but I'm really the only creative force behind it.
I'm sure the one time that the Bunnycast you've been on has been a good example of why doing it that way works.
What are you saying, Squato? This is actually one of our better episodes.
That's terrible.
So, guys, I'm throwing out all the questions here. Xepharon, throw a question
Yes.
at him.
Here. Splat.
Ow!
God damn it!
I actually
killed
have a
him.
question.
Killerfish, go ahead.
Go.
LK, what is your favourite voice to do?
It changes. It used to be Tristan because he has a very, very easy... It's an easy voice to just jump into. And it was kind of the voice that made me realize I could probably do the whole thing by myself. Because, I mean, if I had the idea but but thought to myself, well, I couldn't possibly do all these voices, I would have given up very quickly because I wouldn't have had the first idea of who to go to get to do all the voices for the different characters. But I had a fair grasp of how to do the voices, and Tristan was the one that led into that, and he tends to say some of the funnier, more memorable lines and then sort of just disappear. And I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to give Tristan a much bigger role in future episodes, and I hope that it pays off. But he's a good voice to do simply because of how easy it is and the reaction it gets. I really enjoy doing the Naruto voice in the Naruto parody that I do, even though that is probably the hardest voice that I can do, because it requires me to scream and also make my voice extremely raspy so that I sound like a young chain smoker.
Unfortunately, I didn't pick up that chain smoking bit, but then again, I know people like, this is how they smoke. Like they, I actually do know people that talk like that in the normal
how you
voice.
doing? My name is Margaret. What's up? Mike Wazowski, you didn't file your paper.
After I saw Monsters Inc. this time, I just had this Mike Wazowski paperwork going through my head, and it's like, if that's what I'm taking away from this movie, what does that say about me?
Is that the next voice impression I should be working on? What do you think? I can probably pull it off. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I could throw a question at LittleKuriboh, but it would be shameless and rather self-serving. But
Hey, you mean
Wait for
like
you so far.
the show?
well, like most. Yeah, I was gonna say I do a lot of different voices. These guys will tell you. If you ever need voice casting or anything like that,
We can't shut him up. Seriously. Oh wait, no, that's Squato. We can't shut Squato up.
Yeah, we brought in Zeph to balance out Squato.
hey guys, come on! I represent that comment.
Did you just go all Grotto then over that?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Zeph, you were talking. I think.
Oh yeah, I was, wasn't I? No, like I said, shameless and self-serving. If you ever, I do a fair bit of voice things myself, and if for whatever reason you ever need another person, or other people and whatnot, feel free to give me a buzz and stuff.
Oh, I've got another question.
I was going to say that wasn't a question.
Yeah, right. Would you feel comfortable with giving me a buzz?
Could you
and
in
saying
a car? Could you from afar?
from afar?
My question is, how many other people have asked that already?
Like
Probably thousands.
Thousands, yeah, definitely.
I'm sure. I know I'm not the first, and I'm not going to be the last.
I was trying to stay away from that question myself.
Okay, LittleKuriboh, what a question for you. With the reaction from the show, did you really see... Yeah, because, how it's been taken on the internet, the impact it's had on it, is that something that... How does that actually impact... How did you take for that when it became as big as it has?
I've got a legitimate question. Sorry.
Zeph.
Hi.
It was extremely intimidating. I mean, like when I first made the first few episodes, people always ask, "Did you expect it to happen?" And it's like, how could you possibly expect this to happen? I don't know. I mean, maybe there are people who have done this sort of thing since I did my thing, who expect it to happen based on just the reaction people had to mine. But you do kind of have to understand that. And this is, I'm trying to say this without any kind of ego thing happening, but when I did this, it was something that, as far as I know, hadn't been done that particular way before, and it hadn't been presented in this way. And I know there'd been anime parodies, but they'd not really been structured the same way. And because it was different in some shape or form, that was sort of one of the things that made people sort of pay attention and decide, what, I might follow this, see where it goes. And, I guess people liked it and then stuck with it and told everybody else about it. And it spread. I really didn't anything to promote the thing. I posted it on my live journal, and I posted it on this really small Yu-Gi-Oh community called Play the Damn Card. And it was completely out of my hands, and I was blown away by the fact that so many people gave a crap. I remember seeing people posting about it on the Penny Arcade forums and saying things like,
Wow.
this show is 50% genius.
Uh-oh.
We lose him?
Yeah, that sound I was hearing, his background noise just vanished.
Yep, lost you.
There we go. Okay, let's bring him back in. Almost. Oh, fail! Epic fail.
We should play the Metal Gear Solid
This
Game
happens to
Over
me.
sound
It's so
again.
funny.
Metal Gear Solid Game Over sound again. You should do it. Kuriboh! Kuriboh! Kuriboh!
Okay,
Excuse me.
there we go. Yeah, okay, so you were talking about Penny Arcade, 50% something, and...
Genius, I think, was...
They said 50% genius, 50% retarded, and I said, "Oh, they're talking about me." Basically,
You're special.
my first reaction to all of that stuff when it first became a big deal was I kind of decided I was going to hide, because I'm a pretty shy person, in case you can't tell, and whenever I would upload a new episode, I would be like, okay, this is the last one. This is the one where everybody turns against it, and they decide that they don't like it anymore. And I would post the episode, and then I would turn the computer off, and I would go do something else for about 24 hours. And then I would come back online, and I would look, and then there would be like, hundreds of thousands of views, and people raving about it. And it was just like, why are they still here? Who are these people? I want to go.
I wanted them to leave. I was trying to drive them away.
Get off my lawn!
And as a result of that, I kind of started to take things a little too seriously, and I started to worry about whether or not doing this is a good idea or doing that is a good idea, and eventually I grew out of it around about episode 33. I started to sort of cool down and think, you know what, if I just do things the way that I want to do them, and if I just have faith in it, then I think it'll be all right. And so far, so good. And with the stuff that I think that wouldn't be okay, I kind of just shoved into my Naruto parody, because that's something that is sort of something that nobody's going to watch and think, well, he's ruining his reputation, because that's Naruto. I'm sorry.
I love that show. But I would love to see the parodies.
It's an interesting series, because I started the Naruto parody as an April Fool's joke, but it kind of snowballed.
It snowballed from there. Yeah.
Oops. That'll teach you. No.
So, let's see. Somebody getting very, very famous all of a sudden on the internet, and then responding by hiding. Killerfish! Wow.
What? I'm not famous.
Who's Killerfish?
Am I?
Oh, sorry.
Nice!
We need to have him on our show more often.
Yeah, so
He
is this
doesn't say much, but he rocks when he does. Burn!
Just please make sure you put away the electrodes, Zeph. We don't want to have that incident reoccur.
Okay.
So,
What incident are we talking about?
So,
Hey, I have no idea. And this isn't bad memory either. I don't think anyone has a clue.
Yes, because I tried to wipe that from my memory.
Australian
did
commissioner
have-
government thing again? Person of confusion? Yeah. What is it, Homer?
Squato did
No,
have a-
Moving on.
Everybody forget. Yay me.
Squato did
Moving
have
on.
a question, actually, right at the opening of the podcast, and I think this is a good time to actually do the response. What is your day job, LittleKuriboh? Did we lose him again?
No, he's still there, I
I'm
think. Yeah, there he is.
Sorry. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I don't really like to talk about my job and stuff on the internet.
No,
That's
the only reason why we've... The
Fair
one
enough.
we're
I got a
the only
question
reason why I'm mentioning it's because you got the YouTube, you had it on there, that's all.
Okay.
What? What did I do?
The with the Blackadder one.
That's not my job.
Oh, sorry, that was the... Well, that seemed to be the impression... Okay, move on.
I got a question then. Anime. Japanese or English voice?
It depends. I mean, usually, if I'm watching a DVD, I will switch to Japanese. For example, I have never seen Advent Children in any language other than Japanese.
Don't.
Yeah, I don't intend to.
Don't.
But if it's on TV, and you know, I watch Yu-Gi-Oh in English. I don't watch the Japanese because, well, first of all, the guy who plays Yugi and Yami just has no emotion whatsoever. Every single line is said the same exact way. The guy who plays Bakura is the same person who plays Ash Ketchum in Japanese, and he has just the goofiest voice. It's really hard to take him seriously as a villain. I'm sure the Japanese version is very good. I just haven't really sat down to watch it, you know. But the English version is freely available, and I watched that, and I honestly don't really have a huge problem with the casting in the English dub. I just have a problem with the way the directing was and the choices made with the censoring of the show and stuff like that.
Thank you.
I think language, at the end of the day, is not the biggest problem with stuff like this. I think if an accurate translation and a faithful translation is done, it's more important to be faithful than it is to be exactly the same thing that exists in another language, because they did these DVDs based on Yu-Gi-Oh! That they released after the actual original dub had been made, called the uncut dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they literally took an exact translation of the Japanese and had the English voice actors speak the lines, and it was just so ridiculous. It sounded so contrived, so awkward. It was just not entertaining, and you know, sometimes you have to find a good balance, and there are going to be things that we don't understand from their culture. So I mean, if I sit down and I watch a Japanese show in Japanese and they're doing all these these plays on words that go right over my head because I just don't live there, then you know I'm not going to be entertained by that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, that seems to be a thing. Is with with people that have that view, and that is that there has to be the exact translation of what it is, because it's, quote, the purest form of it. And others is like, well, if you're going to understand it, you should actually edit, or not so much edit it, but broaden the spectrum of what's being done there. Because, for instance, Studio Ghibli, they're a perfect example of how he's with sorry, got the director. Yeah, but how they've allowed their works to be broadened by Disney. Thank you.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention them because they are a good example of something that's brought over and translated and kept faithful to the concept, even though they're not doing everything exactly the same. The writing team was on some extras on for which one was it? Dang it. Forget the moving bathhouse, whatever the title.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
No, not Howl's Moving Castle. it was no.
Sorry, I just had the movie. Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. Thank you. That's the one. That's the one
I've actually been wanting to see. I still have not done yet.
But
Naruto.
Nani, Databayo!
The writing team for the English dub of Spirited Away, they actually talked about how there was this one scene where, in Japanese cultural context, it makes total sense. This is a thing that kids do. It's like a cootie shot, etc., but there's no context for what they're doing on screen for American audiences. So they had to sort of create this narrative within the scene itself about how the actions that were happening on screen were to, break a minor curse or whatever it was. But it was very well thought out, and if you just watch the American version, you don't know that this scene has any awkwardness if you were to transliterate it to English, because they just make it so smooth. On the other hand, you get series like dang it, what's with me and names of anime today?
Evangelion.
I've actually
that one.
I've actually not seen Evangelion just because...
It's not a bad show. The kids just emo as all hell.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And
I'll be honest.
It's good up to the last few episodes just to forget everything, including the movies.
I'll be honest, I feel really good about my question that I asked LittleKuriboh because it started a discussion and I feel valued.
Isn't Evangelion the one with giant robots and...
That's narrowing it down.
That's not narrowing it down very much, Killerfish.
Yeah, that's like...
We're talking about anime.
anime.
Yeah, the other that's 20% of anime right there.
Blue-haired girls.
60%, yeah, that's 100%. The other 60% of genres pretty much sits in hentai.
And we're not going to discuss percentages there.
No, and the last 20% is everything else.
So anyways, you're under
arrest. Did you reject their reality and subjugate to your own then?
Yeah.
So the anime series, You're Under Arrest. If you watch it, the English dub, very bad, because they do try to do literal translations of what's going on a lot of the time. And the reason I know this is because generally I do what LittleKuriboh does, and that's switch the DVDs over immediately to the Japanese language with English subtitles. And the funny thing about that is, as I'm reading it, and when I recall it later on, I remember the voices reading the English lines. It's very funky how that works in my head. I started doing that because I wanted to read the English and hear the Japanese, but when I play it back in my head, I don't hear any Japanese. I just hear the English lines that's read by the Japanese actors in perfect emotion and all that kind of thing that they were putting into the character in the first place. Getting back to the point.
I guess it is kind of all with the whole directing thing, because there are a few animes that I will personally say that I think had a good English dub. For example, I personally believe that the anime Outlaw Star had not only a fantastic Japanese voice acting, but their English was also pretty damn good as well. Well, the first episodes were questionable, but after that it got good.
So anyways, my wife is a very slow reader. So while she was watching, she actually got a little bit interested in the series. And so we would switch it over to English for her. And I would have just finished marathoning one of the DVDs the previous night. And so, I had just finished with the Japanese version. And I'm watching this, and every so often, it's like three times an episode I'm having to hit pause and say, okay, they screwed this part up. Here's what this means. Here's why it's funny, or here's why it's dramatic. And it took these 25-minute episodes and stretched them out to 45 minutes just because I had to explain the terrible job of doing the translation that the English dub team did.
Talking of which, Akira.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Actually, I didn't mind the original dub.
Original dub or the new one they did?
I've got both. I've got the special edition DVD, and I still could not work out what the hell was going on.
That's because you suck.
There was a giant baby thing, and they all get sucked into a black hole thing at the end. I don't understand.
That sounds really terribly kinky. In a really bad way.
To be fair, at least it didn't cause an impact like him trying to do Kanye West type thing.
So, okay, LittleKuriboh, did you have anything you wanted to plug as a project before we close up this session?
Well, I will be appearing at... When is this going out?
The first episode will probably come out next Friday, and the second session, the one that we're going to be recording in a few minutes, will come out the week after that.
I will be appearing at Comic-Con in Tuscaloosa, Alabama from the 24th to the 25th of this month.
Cool.
And that will be cool because you will get to see some new videos and the updated version of our new song parody based on Lady Gaga's Bad Romance.
Oh, God.
So is it going to be anything like that? What's that? The other Lady Gaga you did before? Poker
Brooklyn
Face.
Rage.
See, what people don't understand is that Lady Gaga in her younger years was Miss Goo Goo when she was young.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Do you know the
Cap-
song reference her name?
Captain Punit, not a hero. Bringing all my jokes right down to 0.
Right, somebody grab the shotgun.
You've been working on that song too. You can tell.
Actually, I just made that up just now.
That's
Okay.
what's even worse.
LittleKuriboh, did you want to hang on for the second half, or do you want to go ahead and say farewell?
I can hang on.
Alrighty. Well, we'll look forward to.
We've got a few minutes until our guest actually comes on the next one.
Okay.
Good, because I need to pee.
I have to make a phone
But I was
call.
going to ask one quick question, though, in the
That's
meantime.
what happens when you drink.
LittleKuriboh, I know you mentioned some of the ones beforehand, but is there anything besides the
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
No, that movie, the horror one,
Sith?
the Blair Witch Project, that's been really influential for you? Or has it
Anything
had
in
an
general?
impact on? Yeah.
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, Mystery Sounds Theater 3000, the work of Stephen King has been a huge influence on me. As far as
You are now officially one of my favorite people. I love all those shows, and I love the books. You are one of my favorite people, aside from me. I mean, no, seriously though, that's pretty cool.
And with that hero worship there, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back. For us, it'll be a few minutes. For everybody listening, it'll be next week.
I can hear the music. I hear the music. I hear the music.